A few minutes coming to a close, and what I want to do in these last few minutes is give everybody if everybody have opportunity to, get their appointments. We're pretty good with that. We got our appointments. A bunch of you guys got your books. You got your appointment? Let me tell you something. I'm keeping both eyes on you. All right. Tomorrow we're going to be here. Pastor, we're starting at 11, correct? We start at 10 or 11?
11 o'clock.
Prayer is 10.
I'll be
Service
praying.
starts at 11.
I'll be praying on the way down. I gotta get a little sleep in tonight. All right? And I gotta go to church tonight. So I won't be able to go tomorrow, so I'm gonna go tonight.
If you come here, this is church.
It is, but part of church is, well, I gotta sit there. I like to sit there in church and get fed. Even though half the stuff, I'm telling you seriously, when I put those notes on there, that's just so I can keep somewhat on track, so we don't go on forever. Seriously. So what I want to finish up with today is just a little bit more clarity on what you're going to be doing in the wellness program. Okay, so you have an idea of what to expect. And first of all, because I know it's a concern with people, is we always work it out. Okay, rest assured, we always work it out because our goal is to be successful. Okay, so we're always going to work out the details, especially for those who are concerned about what about after this and what are we going to do. We're going to work it all out. Okay, it will work out. You have my assurance. I'm not going to say it 50 times. It's done. But now we need to actually do things. It's critical that every time an excuse comes up, we need to bring it before the Lord, okay, and let the Lord be the judge over the excuse. Seriously. Because this is a Christian program, and we need to use all the Christian principles involved, okay? We need to really be like with the old "What would Jesus do" bracelets on our wrist. Seriously, we need to "What would Jesus do" in certain situations. So when we come in, we're going to do a consultation. I'm going to find out what's going on. I'm going to do an evaluation of your spine to see where it is. There's a chance that we may need to go out for some x-rays and see, from the inside. After 29 years, most people I can start working on right away, but there's a good chance we may need some films to help me and help educate you on what's going on. Then we're going to go over what you're eating and what your exercise plan is, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of a work, like a little bit of a like a workbook or a worksheet to work on. Okay. Now, if you go on the website, and I'm just going to tell you this now, if you forget, when you do come in the office, I'm going to give you all the codes. For those, Alice, did we give the codes to people? Okay. So what you're going to do is we have all your email addresses on for those of the people who join the program, what we'll do probably by Monday or Tuesday at the latest, or if you get in the office in and around that time, we're going to send you the access codes to get on the online part of the program, okay? But if you go to the School of Wellness website, there's a section that says free resources. Once you click into that, there'll be another icon to click on that says food diary log. And that's going to be your basic responsibility for the first week, well, for the first several weeks. But in the first week, what I'm going to expect everybody to do is write down everything you eat. I need to know what you do on a regular basis. Now, if you really want to be honest about it, just eat what you regularly eat the first week. Why? Because I want to see what you do. Because you may have something built into your habits, some things that are good, and of course we'll keep those. But you may have certain things that are detrimental, and we're going to learn to substitute those out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we may have to make 50 changes, but we want to make the easiest changes first. We want to build momentum. You may say to yourself, somebody was telling me, oh, I love sugar, I'm addicted to sugar, sugar. And if I tell that person, okay, absolutely no sugar for the rest of the week, it's just too drastic. It's just too much of a change. But what happens is we may turn around and say, okay, you're going to go from, a whole liter of Pepsi to a half a liter of Pepsi. You're going to go from 2 scoops of sugar to 1. What we're going to do is make incremental changes over a period of time. Because this is what we want to do is make a change, it becomes a habit. Make a change, it becomes a habit. Make a change, it becomes a habit. If you slip, we got to make a change until it becomes a habit to move forward. If you're, and I'll throw biblical stuff continuously at you because it works. If I can trust you in a little thing, I can now trust you in something bigger, okay? If I can't trust you in a little thing, I can't tell you to do some big things. So when we make the changes, we're going to make incremental changes over a period of time until it becomes a new habit. The same thing with exercise. Now, some of you may be used to going to the gym and you could do an hour of exercise. But instead of going 3 days a week, you're only going 1 day a week. And what happens is, maybe you're used to, you're walking on that treadmill, you're doing the elliptical, you're doing the weights, you're doing the program, whatever it is, in the classes. But instead of going 3 days, you're only going 1 day a week because of scheduling or whatever the story is. But what about the other 6 days? So what happens is, and it may sound like a weak challenge, but something is always better than nothing. So our first challenge, for those of you who are joined in, okay? For those of you who didn't join in, well, I guess I can't challenge you, okay? But if you're joined in, now I'm going to challenge you. Because the fact that you went over there, you made a covenant, you made a handshake with me, okay? I'm not letting you fall off. So we're going to be committed to doing 3 minutes of an exercise starting today and every single day until I see you, or at least a week into it. Now, 3 minutes, how many people think they could do 3 minutes of exercise?
Yeah.
Everybody could. How many people could do 3 minutes of exercise every day for 1 week?
Yeah.
That's not tough. You don't know how many people, after they raise their hand, after a week, I asked them, I did it like 4 days. 3 minutes of exercise? You only did it 4 days? And you just paid me all this money? You better get yourself moving, okay? So what happens is, when you may be going to the gym twice a week, but all the other 5 days, you got to get those 3 minutes of exercise in. Because the 3 minutes eventually is going to turn into 20 minutes, okay? It's going to involve crunches for your abdomen and a number of different ways to do it, depending on how you're physically fit to do it, okay? Some of the crunches will be flat on the floor. Some of them will be in the air. Some of them will be with resistance bands. Some of them may be with other apparatuses that we have. Listen, you can get cans of Progresso Soup and work out with those, right? You don't got to join the gym, but if you want to, that's fine. But what happens is, every day we have to work on getting to 20 minutes, all right? Now, how many people watch, well, we talked about it yesterday. How many people watch Law and Order? How many people watch, like, American Idol? NCIS. How many, anybody here watch a reality show? Yeah, they don't admit to it. Nobody wants to admit to it. See, if my daughter Julie was here, if my daughter Julie was here, my daughter Julie watches every reality show. Okay? She watches every one. She watches one with the Amish folks. She watches one with the Latter-day Saints. She watches the dance moms and such. She watches all these constant. I said, "What's the matter with you?" She goes, "Dad, this is my only relaxation in life is to live vicariously on the outside of crazy other people's lives." So whatever. I said, "Listen, as long as you do good in school, okay, you eventually bring home a good Christian man, and don't hit me up with too many bills, and what else? Whatever, those things. Watch your ridiculous shows." But my point is this. Those shows like a half hour, an hour, you can watch it sitting on the couch, or you can watch it doing an exercise. You follow me? That's how you can do it. I'm telling you. Me and Pastor over there, we're on the same page. He starts, I'm telling you, I'm stealing a lot. I spoke 20 times more than him but I'm stealing half of his stuff. The new normal. I like that. The new normal. That was right in the camera's face. So what happens is we're going to have to make some. So dietarily, what you're going to be expected of is write down everything you eat that week, and not only you write it down, okay, but you're going to write down the time which you ate, and you're going to write down how that was prepared. Like, don't just put, I ate a piece of chicken. All right, how much was it? Was it like a 4-ounce piece of cutlet? Was it 8 ounce? Was it 2 drumsticks? Was it fried? Was it Kentucky fried? Was it barbecue? You know, you have to have some description, because like a chicken leg, which may be about, say, 2 ounces, or depending on it, could be up 4 ounces, or whatever. It could be anywhere between 100 to 140 calories for the chicken. Okay, could be 75. I'm not sure what the size is, but it'll have an amount. But if you have it fried, you could double that amount because of the oil and the breading that gets saturated into it. So it's a different animal. Becomes different. It becomes a fried chicken instead of a regular chicken. So so the point is, we need to be descriptive. And the reason why, some people may say, and like Pastor, they're going to say, well, that seems a little tedious. Well, let me tell you something about being tedious. Being a little tedious and accurate will force that part of your memory, okay, to memorize that which you're doing, so the next time you do it, or eventually when you do it, you won't need to have to look up and see what it is. Now, how many calories is a cup of rice? I said this yesterday. Anybody remember? 200. Okay? So now everybody knows a cup of rice is 200 calories. Doesn't matter if it's brown, yellow, rice, purple, doesn't matter. 1 cup of rice is 200 calories. Now, a brown rice, or a rice like a black rice or mahogany rice up with the husk on it, it's the same calories, but the glycemic index, that means how fast it turns to sugar, is much lower. Okay? So what happens is, you may like rice, and you may like, say you like rice and you like peas. Okay? So there's a combination of rice and peas. Now, typically, when people have, say, rice and peas, or in my neighborhood, it's going to be pasta and maybe broccoli rab. Okay? What happens is the rice or the pasta seems to overwhelm the color of the plate. Okay? So the color of the plate is going to look more white than, say, green. Right? So, but 1 cup of pasta or rice is 200 calories. And a half a cup of, say, spinach or peas or broccoli rab or broccoli, whatever, may only be about 15 or 20 calories. So you have 200 and, say, 20 calories in that meal. But if you get that pasta or that rice, and you go to a half a cup of pasta or rice, and then you get a cup and a half of the greens, okay? So the cup and a half of the greens now is maybe 60 calories, while the combination before was like 220 calories. We have the same food, slightly different consistency, but it's going to have the same flavor most of the time you're eating it, okay? But it's 80 less calories to your count, and it's 80 less calories, it's 100 less calories in the carbohydrate family.
Yeah.
Are you following me?
Yes.
So it's not like you have to totally eliminate and do things, like that. It's you have to learn a little bit about what you're doing. I know that there are some programs out there, and they say you just do points. You have 8 points for the day. And some people, okay, 8 points. I'll have 4 brownies. I got my 8 points. That's it. You got your 8 points. But what happens is you have no knowledge of what you're doing.
Right.
You're just following the points.
Right.
This way, you're carving your way through to learn a habit that when you sit down at a meal, okay, like the meal I had was maybe 250 calories. I did the math in my head. Between the salad, the pieces of chicken, the vegetables, and the pasta, I'm talking about, what I had was about 250 to 275. And you know what? I'm probably pretty